So what I'd like to do for this lecture is just go straight at the test questions for Marshall McLuhan's probes on the role of the artist. And just as a kind of foreshadowing, McLuhan sees the artist as a sort of distant early warning system that can help us negotiate the numbing effects uh, of technology on our sensorium. So in that sense, artists for McLuhan are kind of like the nerve endings of the body. It's really weird. So what is the distinction of the artist? McLuhan asserts that it's the distinction of the artist in any field that he commands this power to convey the effects of things when the ordinary person is merely numbed or robotized by things, right? And so then again, right, the artist has this special power that he can see what's going on with the technologies. Everybody else is kind of zombified by these technologies, but the artist, in a way, has this kind of, I don't know, sixth sense or second sight, and the artist can figure stuff out when the rest of us are just kind of, numbed, right, or robotized. Who are the enemies of the establishment? Well, for McLuhan, he says the artist and the inventor are the ultimate enemies of the establishment. And I take the establishment to mean like the order of things or the status quo or the way things are. And so here comes the artist or the inventor, and the artist will kind of reshape perceptions in a certain way, and the inventor, right, makes stuff, or she makes stuff that transforms society. So for McLuhan, the artist and the inventor are the ultimate enemies of the establishment. And then McLuhan asserts the artist makes new perception that changes all the social ground rules, right? And so that new perception was a fill in the blank. The artist is the person who invents the means to bridge what? McLuhan asserts that the artist is the person who invents the means to bridge between biological inheritance and the environments created by technological innovation. That's super interesting. So the bridge is between what? The bridge is between biology, right? Biological inheritance, what he says, but the biology of our senses, and technology. The artist is the person who creates a bridge between biology and technology. Without the artist's intervention, man merely does what? What idols does he worship? McLuhan says, without the artist's intervention, man merely adapts to his technologies and becomes their servo mechanism. And I take servo mechanism to be kind of like, an automatic response, kind of like robotic, right? Servo mechanism. McLuhan continues, he says, he worships the idols of the tribe, of the cave, and of the market. And what I take that to mean is you just, you just kind of march lockstep and barrel to the tune of your culture. Um, it generally kind of unreflectively, unless the artist challenges those kind of normative standards. And then last, McLuhan says the canoeist or the motorist achieved his equilibrium by the cultivation of reflexes, becoming an extension of these situations. So again, right, that's this idea that we sort of just, the ordinary becomes the ordinary, and we fall into the groove. What can the artist correct? Well, McLuhan asserts that the artist can correct the sense ratios, right? We're dealing with the sensorium here and how the new technology alters in some way our senses. The artist can correct the sense ratios before the blow of new technology has numbed conscious procedures. He can correct them before numbness and subliminal groping and reaction begin. And so, just as a final thing, numbness. I think we know he's talked about that a lot. That the new technology numbs the incision point, and we know what reaction is. Subliminal groping. That's weird, and I take that to mean the kind of unconscious anxiety of the transformation to our psyche from the change in the sense ratios, right? So I'll just say this again. McLuhan asserts that the artist can correct the sense ratios before the blow of new technology has numbed conscious procedure. He can correct them before numbness and subliminal groping and reaction begin.